The part where the teacher says something is usually after class 4 or during class 4. Once you give birth to your child and you know that you want your child to maximize the potential when it comes to academics, you start reading to your child at night. I am learning how to swim, not because I'm bored, no, because I am going to be a parent in Germany. If a mother comes to school looking raggedy, looking hush hush, I already know that this child is not going to get the push. Your child can go from gymnasium to Realschule to Hauptschule, and that might even be more demoralizing for the child. Yes, in Ghana, we have this saying, "Agrobesa anifra napa." A great event or a great game starts from early in the morning.
Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. So with me here again today is Phoebe. There is an Igbo
Mhm.
adage that says, Phoebe, you understand Igbo. There's an Igbo adage that says, "Uzo mama agaya uborabo." What does that mean?
I only understood the first part,
Okay.
like a good journey.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
rest I didn't.
Okay. When the journey is good, you
Mhm.
can go twice. Or when the road is good, you can go
Oh yeah, J
twice.
Abo. Like okay, now
Do
I
you
get
get?
that.
So that is to
Mhm.
say that Phoebe has been a guest on this channel twice, and we love the vibe, so we had to bring her back
Yeah,
again.
Miss Spirit. She got it. She
She
got
got
it.
it. So yeah, I just brought Phoebe here again today to talk to us or talk with us about a
Mhm.
burning what's it called? A burning issue on the minds of immigrants in Germany, especially immigrant parents. And that has to
Yes.
do with the education system in Germany. Okay?
Yes.
So from the title of the video, you already know like the encompassing topic, right? So that's what we're going to dissect today. Okay? So,
Mhm.
like I said, it's a challenge that a lot of immigrant parents are worried about. Like, will my kids eventually be sent to do house building? What exactly is it in this university that my kids can't go to? Why? There are lots of questions on the minds of people. And so the first thing I want to ask you, Phoebe, since you have had your education here since you were 12, um, can you explain to us how children are streamed into either vocational training or the university tracks in the German school system?
Okay. Thank you, Kelechi. Thank you for having me again. Hi, Shati Lines. Gates Oish.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into the first question.
Yeah.
Why do they say I was bidding for this person, I was bidding for that person, or university for that person? First of all, it's not the teachers who say that first. Okay.
Mhm.
The part where the teacher says something is usually after class 4 or during class 4.
Okay.
Guys, excuse the noise in the background because they are fixing something on my door. So please bear with me. I hope still the sound comes out well. So I'll be
Yeah,
coming
it
closer to the
does.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's
Okay.
okay.
So the German school system is set up this way. So your child will do Kita, Kindertagesstätte, depending on whether you're a working mom or not, or if you want your child to start socializing early in life or not. So Kita. Then we have kindergarten, which we all know in our English-speaking areas also as kindergarten or kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they go to Grundschule, which directly or loosely translated is basic school. That's what we would call primary school. And the German primary school does not go to class 6, it goes to class 4.
It stops at
And
class
it will
4.
seem on yes, we graduate basic school at class 4. And
Okay.
this it might seem unfair because at that time your child is just 9 or 10 years and you wouldn't know
Mm.
whether your child is ready for secondary school or not.
Mm. Okay.
And that is why Germany is not a country where you relax. In Germany, you plan everything.
Mm.
Clinton and I have this conversation where we structure our day-to-day lives because based on the purpose that we want to achieve for the year or something. Germany does not allow you to just sit down and
And
relax.
wing life.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. There's no time for that. Once you give birth to your child and you know that you want your child to do gymnasium, abitur, and go to university to pursue a career, or you want your child to maximize the potential when it comes to academics,
Mm-hmm.
then this is when you give birth to your child, the child starts going to kindergarten, you start reading to your child at night. You
Mm.
start before they go to bed. So your child gets used to reading, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You take your child out for excursions in the woods, so your child will show you different types of plants. You don't, I'm sure even me, I don't know the types of plants in the forest, but there's the app for it.
Yes, there's an app for that. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
I am learning how to swim, not because I'm bored, no, because I am going to be a parent in Germany, so that when it's time to take my child to Freibad, it doesn't have to be only daddy doing it.
Oh, that's
I can
true.
also I can also take the child to Freibad when the need has to be. At
Yeah.
least I can be with you in the kinderbecken. I can, planch with you and all this. All these things are preparations that you make. Okay, now we stopped at Grundschule. Okay, so from class 4, your child has 3 options. Actually, basically 3 options. There are other options as well, depending on the needs your child has. But
Mm-hmm.
the normal case is there's Hauptschule, you go to class 9, Realschule, you go to class 10, and Gymnasium, you go to either class 12 or 13, depending on the type of place you are. Some people go to class 13, some people go to class 12.
Okay.
It all depends, okay?
Okay.
So after gymnasium, you do Abitur, and that is usually, if you pass well, that is your entry, your ticket to university. With Realschule, you can do Ausbildung or do a top up for the gymnasium. So you can even specialize on the type of gymnasium that you want to do, the type of Abitur you want to do. That's why they call it Fachabi, because it is a
Mm.
specified course.
Mm.
You have like your main course. So some people do Wirtschaftsfachabi, they do, different sciences, whatever. And then they enter the university with that. And then we have Hauptschule. If you want, you can do the top up to Realschule, but usually after that top up, your child is tired. Even me,
Mm.
I'll be tired. But
Mm-hmm.
then it helps to get into other types of Ausbildung, because usually after Hauptschule, the Ausbildung is more like a technical one,
Yeah.
easier ones to do. And then with Realschule, you have more options. You
Options.
can
Yes.
work in the bank, you do Ausbildung in the bank and everything. So let's specify, or let's just determine this statement here, that Ausbildung ist nichts Schlimmes. Ausbildung is not a bad thing.
Okay, that's a
There
very
are
important
so
point to
many
make. Yes.
pros to Ausbildung, because with Ausbildung, if your child starts doing an Ausbildung at, let's say, 1920, or
Mm-hmm.
even earlier, let's say 1718, by 2021, your child has already started earning money, your child has already started paying into their pension, your child can even build upon the Ausbildung and do a Weiterbildung,
Mm.
and maybe even later go to university.
I see.
But I respect people who do Ausbildung so much, because they have that practical knowledge.
Yes.
They know how to do the job on site.
Mm.
And some companies even prefer these people, depending on the type of field, of course. But some
Yes.
companies prefer these people
Mm-hmm.
more than us book long people.
No, I
So
get it.
Ausbildung is nichts Schlimmes.
It's not bad.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
You
thing.
have to know your child's strength to know where to guide your child to.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the teachers would also see that some children, some of us, we not come from a background of having parents who are academicians, who have been to school, have studied far, and as I said, some parents know the essence of reading to their children. Some parents know the essence of letting their children go out 2 hours in the day for fresh air, where they go for walks with their kids, everything. If you're a parent who is well educated and everything, you would read up and know what is good for your child. And all these things show in your child's upbringing. All these things show in how your child communicates and everything. I know a Ghanaian family, the baby girl, actually, their first child is doing ballet. The boy goes for football. The younger one is still at home, because mommy and daddy still have time to take care of her at home. So she's not
Mm.
doing kids, to go straight to kindergarten.
Mm.
But such a child, I will not be surprised to see her in gymnasium,
Mm.
because the parents are integrated. The parents are speaking German. The parents, okay, the mom came like me also at a young age, but such a child whose parents have been through the system, where the father has studied in Germany, they know what they're doing. So the teacher already, before the teacher would approach such a parent, they would come knowing their apples. They will know what they'll be communicating with them.
Yeah.
Okay. If a mother comes to school looking raggedy, looking hush hush, where's your pen? Hey, you forgot the pen at home. I, as a teacher, I know that this
You already
child.
tell. You can already tell. You can already do a prognosis to say, yeah.
So when the child is coming to school, I already know that this child is not going to get the push or the support that the child needs at home
Mm.
to be able to even do gymnasium. And the thing is, you know that a lot of immigrant children, are in extra classes for the German language or for homework because they don't have that support at home.
Are
So
you
it is
saying, sorry,
advised.
sorry to cut you short, like support, is it like it's expectant that the parents support them to learn the German language at home? Is that what you mean?
No. So the children do not have enough social balance, or they don't have enough German input outside the home. And this is because
Okay.
their parents do not have a German environment around them at the same time.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
So let's say if, of course, not every parent is going to be speaking German with their child at home. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Please speak Igbo, speak Fanti, speak Ave, speak English with your child at home. That is perfectly fine. But can your child say that he's playing with the other neighbor's kids and
They
speaking
need to,
German with them?
yeah, they need to
They need to
socialize.
have
Yes.
German interaction outside the school as well,
Yeah,
outside the
that's true.
kindergarten. And some
Yeah.
kids, even when they come to school, they are so timid. They are exhibiting certain behaviors that is showing that there's no peace at home.
Mm,
Such a child is troubled. All these things play into your child's academic path.
that's true. That's very
And
true.
racism is not the first answer, please.
Mm,
So now that I've explained to you the German school system,
mm,
ask yourself, by the time my child is 6 and goes to class 1, is my child already writing before they
mm,
go to school? Is my child already reading before they go to school? So that when your child goes to school, he already has the joy. Because to be true, to be told, when you are doing something and you experience the feeling of success doing it,
mm.
you stay in that interest. You
Yeah,
develop more interest for it. But if I'm
true.
doing it, I feel like, man, it can't just this. You lose
Yeah,
interest.
that's true. That's
And
very
that is
true.
just what it is. So build that interest at home. But if the child goes to school and the teacher realizes that that interest is not there, the support for the child at home is not there, the teacher would be like, not to overburden this child and bring this child even down the more.
Mm,
Let the child do what the child can do.
mm.
And then the thing is, the truth of the matter too is, your child can move from gymnasium to Realschule. Your child can move from Realschule to Hauptschule. You can be
Yeah,
demoted.
yeah.
But being promoted or skipping Realschule to gymnasium is not that easy. That is also true. But your child can go from gymnasium to Realschule, Realschule to Hauptschule, and that might even be more demoralizing for the child.
Hmm. That's very, very
So
interesting.
that's the
That's
first
that's
one.
that's that's very interesting because I like the fact that you hit the nail on the head by saying that not gymnasium,
Ausbildung.
Ausbildung is not bad because
No.
it is that many people here, many immigrants, especially Africans, they have the mentality that vocational training, which is the Ausbildung, is like second class. And you also see
No.
it in Nigeria too, because we have the university and we have the technical
Training
college
college.
of, yeah, or polytechnic. Those ones are even
Polytechnic.
more hands-on than the university. In university, we just do book, 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 book. But in the
Yeah.
polytechnics, they do both studies and hands-on training, even in the
Yes. So
technical
Germany,
colleges
we
as well.
have that as well. So Ausbildung is a bit different from Polytechnic
Yeah, that's
because
the, yeah.
Ausbildung doesn't give you the degree like that. But in
Mm,
Germany, you can also do a bachelor's that is in the form of Polytechnic. We have the
yeah.
dual studies where the company pays you to actually go to university. So you do three
Mm,
months of university, 3 months of working in the company. Okay,
okay.
that is also. And then not all Ausbildung are technical Ausbildungen. So we
Mm,
have Ausbildung where you are the assistant of the Steuerberater, so Steuerfachwirt,
mm-hmm.
where you are doing people's taxes. Listen, tax law in Germany is not for the weak.
It's very
There is
complicated.
an update basically twice or thrice a year. There's always something
Something
for you to
changes
watch
every
out
time.
for.
Yeah.
Like, that's the field I started in. Charlie, I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all. There's a reason why I am more an interpreter than I'm a legal interpreter than still, like, I love the legal field, but
Mhm.
hey, working taxes. And sometimes when my boss gives me an assignment, I'll be looking at him like, and also be looking at me like, ich weiß, Sie können, wenn Sie Fragen haben, können Sie mich jederzeit anrufen, eine E-Mail schreiben, da, da, da. Aber Chef, later on, I'd rather be the one with him in the meetings taking the notes because that was the
Mhm.
breeze job, honey, or in the English Verhandlungen, in the
Yeah,
English meetings. But
yeah.
Steuerfachwirt ist nichts für schwache Nerven. It is not for any kind of weak souls. If you listen, not everything is nursing training and all that. No, no. There are house building, basically everything you can think of, there's house building in it. It's not only
Mm,
about painting and welding
exactly.
and masonry. No, 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 no.
Exactly.
There's house building in all kinds of fields. So
That's true.
please, if you know that your child doesn't have to stay in school for too long, don't force your child. At the end of the day, why are we going to school? To find money. And if your child can find money, because some of us, we
It's a
study
win.
and we actually start working at the age of 28, 29. By that time, the person who did outschooling already has been making money for the past 10 years.
Yeah,
And by the age of 35, they can buy a home.
that's true. That's very true. That's very
So
true.
please
So yeah, so basically
take it
parents should
easy.
just be taking it easy, be calming down, literally,
Mm-hmm.
and keep an open
Yes.
mind. But then there's still this bias that some children, some African, because I have a Bekante, her aunt was like, I mean, when the niece was still in the Grundschule, I got to learn that they wanted to at school, like, let her, tell her, say she should, go to Realschule or just the other one, whereby she has to eventually go to an Ausbildung. But then her mama went to do all the gra at the school and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
generally there's a bias that African children are often guided more towards vocational path rather than academic route. So why do you think this could be the case? And do you think that this bias is prevalent in certain regions or certain schools in Germany?
So I have had also Bekanntschaft. So when I was growing up, um, so my parents used to be people who, like what I'm doing now professionally with the Phoebe way, my parents were doing it for other people. Like they would
Oh,
write letters, represent people's parents with them at school, ask why you doing that, da, 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 and they'll do that. So I remember one case where the child was told to go to Realschule and the
mm-hmm.
parents were like no, and the grades were good. So when they went, blah 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 blah, at the end, so it was actually two cases. One child actually did go to gymnasium. I don't know what became of her, but the other
Mm,
child didn't go to gymnasium. They stayed in Realschule.
okay.
And one thing I want to say, another baseline with this is SSIN failing. It's a recommendation. You don't have to do gra 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 gra. Now
Mm,
you born your picking.
not
Now you
so
know what
bad.
your picking feed do.
Mm,
So no time to waste time. Just say danke für Ihre Empfehlung. Ich bin aber der Meinung, dass mein Kind sich auf dem Gymnasium besser aufgehoben ist. Da, da, da.
mm.
Just take your child to the gymnasium and call it a day.
Okay.
Not need for just go to the gymnasium and say my child has come here. And the thing is, when it's time for the kids to go to gymnasium, everything in filter class and class 4, there's something called the open door days. Tag the
Yeah,
offering too.
open day. Yes, yes, I know that.
So carry your child, actually look for the date online and go with your child and make your decision based on how your child feels the school and how you feel the school. What is the distance? How often does the bus come? What is their afternoon programs? What kind of profile do they have? Did your child's eyes light up when he was in that school? Did your child like it? Okay.
Mm,
All these things are things that you can do before you start preaching kind of da, da, da. But as I said to the first question, there is this, should I say bias, or there's this tendency of teachers putting these kids in the crash because for them it's the win-win situation whereby the child is not overwhelmed and the child still has a way to go up.
okay.
So basically sometimes it means that your child could carry themselves academically, but as they grow older, they'll be able to carry whatever weight comes with academic weight
Okay.
themselves. Meaning that they don't see you, the parents, capable
Wow.
of handling the carrying of the other weight for the child. Because when it came to Eltern Abend, it was your child who came with you.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
enough said.
Enough said,
Enough
enough
said.
said, enough said. I get it, girl. So another question that I want to ask is, are there any success stories of African children, of course, besides yourself and your brother, African children who have overcome this whole stereotype of, okay, they said I should go to house reading, but I want to go to university and I did. So are there any success stories of children, families who that achieved this or were able to overcome this?
Yes, 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 yes. So
Oh, okay.
one of my closest friends, I'm not going to mention her name, but anybody who knows how I grew up in Germany knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So she went to Realschule. She did Fachabi.
Mm-hmm.
She did university
Mm-hmm.
here in Nottingham. And then
Okay.
she went to London for her master's in
Oh.
finance. So
Oh.
that's what I'm saying, that if your child wants to do it, your child can.
Can do it. Wow, nice.
And
If you will.
later on, for me, I went straight to university. And she also, I think she did a university. She didn't have Fachhochschule, but she did university. But her university had, I think, smaller classes as well. So with such willpower, it's doable.
Okay.
And I remember when she was doing the Wirtschaftsgymnasium, she was living around the airport. She had to come downtown Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know how
It is.
S2 and S3 move sometimes, but she didn't give
Wow.
up.
Wow.
She
I
did
love
it.
it.
That's one success story. Okay. And
Okay.
today she is thriving. Like the type of degree she has makes it easier for her to be a mother, combining work with being a mother of a young child. And it's
Nice.
beautiful to see. So please, it is. And then not just that, I have seen kids. I know one who graduated as a lawyer this year
Mm-hmm.
from Ghana. Yes. I know someone from Nigeria. Oh yes, Nigeria. I know two, they're actually sisters. So one of them already went to the United States to
Mm-hmm.
continue and she's settled there. And one who is here and she's doing her master's in chemical
Chemical
engineering.
engineering and outdoor is now. Wow.
For me, even just in chemistry and seeing the Gleichungen und H2 und
I
nein,
can
danke.
imagine.
But she's doing
Yeah.
chemical engineering masters, okay? And
Wow.
she's actually out there. So you can look her up, Jennifer.
Okay.
Hakuna. That's her handle on TikTok.
Okay.
That's actually where I know that. Wow, she's going. Every time she's on my feed, I'm like, yes, girl, yes,
Exactly what
because
I want to see.
yes, because the odds that were standing against her, she just took them and
Mm,
like moved with it. She's amazing. So at least now I can, like, over the top of my head, or on the top of my head, I can just count 4 or 5 people,
lovely.
and it's possible. And there are
Lovely.
also people who did Ausbildung and went
Mm-hmm.
on to study. I don't know exactly what they
Mm.
studied. And I remember when I first entered university, there was a Ghanaian lady who came all the way, I believe, from either Berlin or Hamburg to study in Stuttgart, and she did her master's as well. And the next time I heard, she got married, but I'm not seeing her in Stuttgart anymore. I think she moved out of Stuttgart. So
Mm.
it is possible. It is really possible. There's no need for you to, oh yes, and one of my big sisters,
Mm.
she studied business also as well, and now she's working in a top company. So
It's possible.
it's possible.
Borderline. It's possible.
And Kelechi, she came later, and she's done her master's in Germany and learned German. So the thing is, if you want to do it,
You will.
you can. And Germany, I think the thing about Germany is once you want to do it, you see how help will come. Of course, it's not going to be totally easy, but you see
Yeah.
how help will come.
Will come. That's very true. But then again, I heard that there are some people that would rather take their kids outside of Germany. For example, kids that are born, I mean, immigrant parents, they give birth to their
Mm.
kids here and then they're like, I don't really want my child to have the education experience here. Maybe after Grundschule or after Realschule, they take their kids to a university, maybe in the UK or another country. Do you think it's the best thing to do, or do you think it's best to just let that child continue on that path since they already started their basic education in Germany to just get up to a bachelor's at least before furthering in another country? What do you think? Because why I'm saying this is usually when you are in the secondary school, you are taught in, like, for example, the way they do the whole division, mathematical science and everything, the way they learn chemistry, physics, biology, it's all in German. So do you think it will
Yeah.
be a challenge for that child going to start university in another language like English, for example? Do you think it would be a challenge, or is it best for the parents to just allow these kids to finish up at least the bachelor's in the country where they started their Grundschule? What do you think?
So I told you my friend went to do her master's in the UK. And for
Mm-hmm.
her, it was easy because she came to Germany at the age of 12, like me.
Yeah.
So for us, English is already a basic language that we
Language.
we, we are used to learning in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one thing she told me was, Phoebe, my master's was easier than my bachelor's in Germany. There's a reason why I made it in Germany. Is a proud stamp. They won't
Yeah.
tell you this, but I'm telling you for free that education in Germany is tougher.
Mm.
But then Germans will recognize theirs more than they recognize an outside one. And
Mm.
it's not. There's a reason why when you come out of Germany, you come from outside Germany and you bring your certificate, they'll tell you they want to do recognition
And they came
because
in.
they want to see which level. They want to match them. Where's the
Don't
camera? They want
much
to match them to
exactly.
see if
Let's
it
know. Let's
matches
know. Does it
the one you
match?
brought.
Yes.
Is it yes?
Is it up to
So that is
standard?
another thing. That's another thing. So um I personally, I wouldn't
Stega.
leave Germany for that. I think one major motivation for parents is the racism. I know an acquaintance, I know of someone who she was taken out of Germany when I was, I think, 6, 7, because she was the only black kid, and she went through a lot of racism. And that area where they were in Germany was not pleasant at all. And she came back, and the issues continued. And a part of me felt like, what if she had stayed and figured it out on her own? Because now what you try to save her from, she's still being traumatized by
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But somebody like me, I give it back, books back, and I go home. I don't take the stress with me to my house. So
Mm.
this is another thing that sometimes I'm like, is it really that good? And then separating from your child for so long, I don't know. Because for me, I can't really say much, because for me, I was brought from Ghana to Germany for family reunification. And it was not easy. And sometimes I feel like I should have been left in Ghana to finish university in Ghana and then come to, like, the way you came. But at the end of the day, there were pros and cons on all sides. And I've hardly seen, and I know of someone also who left Germany after Abitur and went to the UK to study. And that worked again because she was born in Ghana. She came to school in Germany, got her German passport, and went out to study. And sometimes when you have a German passport and you go out to study, you get BAföG. So you don't always have to pay all the fees from outside.
I
There
see.
are pros and cons to all of this. So it
Okay.
depends on your child. Again, it depends on your child and what your child is capable of.
Okay. Sorry to cut you short here. So, personally, let's get a little personal right now. Do you think you would have maybe had a I don't want to, I want to, I'm trying to pick my words. Do you think it could have been better for you? If, like, do you think you would have turned out differently than you have, which you have turned out great, by the way? So do you think it would have been better if you had done your bachelor's degree in Ghana before moving to Germany? Do you think you would have done your career or, your overall growth any better than it has already done?
Personally, I think when it comes to the academic side, probably not. I
Okay.
think all the things that I went through as a child with integration and everything, it came easier
Mm.
because I was a child.
Mm.
And I kind of just grew up with it. And as a child, man, is dann irgendwie abgelenkt. You're
Yeah.
daydreaming. You're in your own world. But
Yeah.
I think you had gone through this as an adult who had to earn my own buck, carry myself through it, where my parents can't really have that much influence. It would have been harder, to be
Mm.
honest.
Okay.
I think the reason why I say that is because the purpose of family unification was not met in my case. And I think if that purpose was met with family unification in my case, I would have soared. And that's another thing. Keep a healthy environment at home. There's no need for you to say that I want to stay married for the sake of my children. Your children will be suffering for it. I think the first time I had an interview with Kelechi, I said the day my parents got divorced was one of my happiest days of my life. And Kelechi was shocked. And I understand why you were shocked, because you're coming from a background of an intact family where both parents are still home, you have your siblings around you and everything. But I didn't have that. And all that bickering and up and down, that day I knew that it's finalized. The mother that I was growing up with is back. The mother that I had in Ghana is back. The independent mother I had, who was making the decisions, and she's back. And she was back fully in her character, with her laughter, with her peace of mind, where she knew that it's me again. That's why I celebrated that. So I think in my case, and that's another thing that I would tell you parents with children in Germany, you need to be yourself first 100%
Mm.
before you can take care of your child.
Yeah.
If you, the parents, you are not fully present and
Mm.
aware,
Mm.
your child will suffer for it.
Wow.
So I believe that if the reason why I would have done better in Ghana is because probably I wouldn't have gotten to know what is happening with my parents. I would have just,
Mm.
soared and
Mm.
gone on,
Yeah.
because then they would have been separated anyways by distance. But coming here and experiencing that, I would say that that took a lot from me
From you
mentally.
as a kid. I can
Mentally.
imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just it. I think that's why in my personal life I'll be like, okay, I probably should have come later because I'm trying to
Mm.
dodge that aspect.
That
But
aspect.
integration, imagine if you are integrating and your parents are pushing you, both of them are pushing you, both of them are loving each other, there is love at home. You're
Definitely the
unstoppable.
sky. Yeah, the sky would be a stepping stone. I can totally I imagine what you're talking about. And yeah, really, like every parent, to be honest, regardless of where you are, you should be present for your kid. For your
Mm-hmm.
kids, you should be present because I don't see the
Yeah.
reason why you actually consented to having a child with your partner, and then these children come, and then you are doing God knows what, and they are expected to grow in their own world all alone without your presence. I mean, it's crazy. And a lot of parents are
Mm-hmm.
very guilty of this, even in Africa, in our respective countries. So many parents are guilty of this. Like, and it
Yeah.
tells when you except for a child that consciously says, "Okay, I wouldn't want to let the challenges I had at home affect the way that I turn out as an adult."
Yeah. But even then, there's trauma.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
Like,
trauma.
so
Yeah.
I feel like there are two ways to this. Sometimes the trauma gets to, like, they act it out in their relationship with people, and for some others, they just chest it, they just bear it
Yes.
and just let it.
Internalize it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word. Internalize it. You understand? So yeah, at the end of the day, I really, I mean, I feel bad that you had to go through that, and I really,
That's
I know that you would be a way better parent to your kids, and I trust
amen.
that.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
trust that anybody who is watching this as well takes a cue. So, the last thing I'm going to ask you right now, what steps can you suggest that African parents take basically to ensure that their children are given equal opportunities with regards to pursuing academic careers in Germany, especially for parents who are already in the academic career field, for example. So, what steps do you think that these parents can take to ensure that, okay, their kids also get these equal opportunities to be steered in this direction?
Yes. In Ghana, we have this saying, "Agrobesa ani apart." The A great event or a great game starts from early in the morning.
Mm.
The moment the baby came out, and then your work starts.
Okay.
Actually, before the endo, before the delivery, okay,
Mm.
because you, the parents, you need to know the system to navigate your child through it. That's just it. So integration of the parents is of paramount importance. That is one thing. And being an academic, a parent with academic background is a big plus for your child. So what you have to do is, for example, the grading system. Sit down with your child, or first of all, sit down alone and know how well does my child have to know their stuff to get certain grades.
Mhm.
And also talk to your child to know where your child themselves see themselves. Like sometimes the difference between parenting in Ghana or parenting in Africa and parenting in Germany is that Germans train their children to be self-dependent, self-reliant, self-sufficient. And the fact that you see me as a pension does not mean that I am your tool
Mm.
or I am your property.
Mm.
In Germany, the normal German parent does not own their child. They only see it as a role they have to play to make their child independent in future. So
Yeah.
every step along the way is to keep the child safe and everything, but the child is supposed to be self-dependent or independent when they grow up by 18 to be able to be making your appointments. So I remember this is what I remember. I remember we were in a family setting once, and I think it was about the neighbor's kids who was friends with our niece.
Mm.
And our niece was like, our niece was like, why don't you just call the doctor and make the appointment yourself? We have to go. Why do you have to wait for your mother to come and tell me?
Mm.
And then we all devour the mother because this child is 18 or going on
I
18.
can't make
Why
an
can't the child
appointment.
make an appointment and handle their own calendars, you know? And it's not like we are in a big city where there are dangers. No, it's a doctor 2 streets down the road. Please, and that, for example, is a sign of good parenting, Jim, when your child can do things for
On the
themselves.
new.
And I remember, I think it was on our last live, somebody asked a question that my child has started kids and they're saying my child should be able to feed themselves. They're not expecting your child to eat pie by themselves because obviously it's going to cause a mess at
Yeah,
18 months.
yeah.
But your child picking something off their plate and shoving it
Mm,
in their mouths while other kids are eating,
mm.
it's a sign of
It's a
what?
good,
Good development.
a good
Yes.
sign. Yes.
So know how the style of parenting in Germany is, and also know what you can do with this in Germany.
Mm,
In Germany, children are talked to, not barked at. Children
mm.
are not afraid of their parents. That's what I'm saying. You have to sit down with your child. The fact you want me to be a doctor doesn't mean I want. Maybe if I see blood, I'll faint. You wouldn't even take your time to
That's true.
listen because you want to have a doctor. And that is why a lot of us are having tensions with certain, like some of the people I know, they have really big tension with their parents because of simple things like this that the parents are not ready to listen to.
True
And
that.
it's sad. So as a parent who knows how it is to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
know how education in Germany also works. In Germany, we don't chew, pour, and forget, where we cram what is in the book and spit it out on the paper. We don't do that.
Mm-mm.
In
You have
Germany, you
to
read to
understand.
understand and apply.
Yes.
So you always have to understand, except your child would want to do languages, then maybe. But even in languages, in literature, we have to apply, like explain, interpret, these things. So know how the German school system works, especially the part that you didn't go
You
through,
didn't go
and
through
guide your child
exactly.
through it.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes, that's true.
yes. And obviously the language is something. Another thing is be present. Be present. Show up. I remember my dad, when he would come to our school, he would come to school usually before or after work. And he's wearing his shirt, his tie, his suit. And I remember one time they had Ayrton, I think it's called Ayrton Abend, but I forgot the name they used for that, but it's the parents meet together for dinner to talk about their children. And
Mm.
this man Kuku went after work, and I think he was wearing a pink shirt. And on the next day, I came to school. All my friends were like, "My mom was drooling over your dad." I'm not saying your parents should be a shower like that. Reduce their chassis. But in that moment, I was like,
You're
"My
proud.
dad, and now." And
I can
my
imagine.
mom, when it was time for her to show up in my school, mommy would look out for a Dolce and Gabbana. She wear her Dolce and Gabbana watch.
Are you serious?
She'll get her nails did. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I need to know. You have to know I'm your mom. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember when it was time for my Abby Felayung, Christ Felayung. Hey, my
Mm.
mommy showed in and showed out.
I
Like
know,
she
right?
showed up and showed out. That dress was a standard dress. Honey,
Oh,
yes.
that's how it should
Yes.
be. That's how it should be.
My mom did not do school runs because obviously we're going to school ourselves. But if there was anything, she'd be like, "I'm going to wear my Marco Polo jeans today." Yes, please, please.
Please, they
I'm
just
not saying go and buy Marco Polo or buy Gant or anything,
just look
but
good, look
look
presentable.
kempt, look
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah.
Okay, look like you are on top of your game.
True.
And I'm not saying fake it, but be soft with your children. Don't be stressed. Don't be shouting. Because children who are shouted at, they shout at other
And
kids.
others,
All
exactly.
the indications that your child is not good off your home. Your child is not being treated well at home, or she's not in a good space. Okay. So please,
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you so much, Phoebe. That was very enlightening. Guys, I believe that by now, those of you who asked questions regarding the school system in Germany and what roles parents can play and all that yada yada, I believe that Phoebe has dealt with this topic to the latter. Okay.
Mhm,
So go watch all
mhm.
3 videos. We have a live together, and we made one prior to that, and then this one as
Yes.
well. So just feed your eyes and digest the content. If you have more questions, do well to leave them in the comments as well. And if you like me to drag Phoebe to this channel again, then give her a reason to do so by leaving more things that she can talk about in the comments, and be sure that she's gonna come back again to discuss that with us. Okay. Thank you so much, Phoebe,
And
for
oh,
your
Kelechi's on my
insight.
channel, so go see what
Oh
she said
yes,
about
oh
my
yes, oh
and
yes. I featured on
afterwards.
hers. I
Yes,
featured on
yes,
hers. So please, guys,
yes.
go check it out. So thank you so much, Ruby, for your insightful responses. I mean, as always, it's spot on. So thank you so much. And I really believe that this is. I mean, I didn't even. I mean, there's something you said that struck me right now, and I'm really thinking about, like, you are learning how to swim because of your kids. That is deep.
Yeah.
That is very deep. And I think I have to also consider that because I can't swim to save my life. So it's something that I know that I should do. Okay. So thank you so much for your insights. I really appreciate them. It was amazing as usual. Okay. So here is where we draw the curtains for the day, or for this video. And we really hope you found it interesting and insightful. So if you did, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to
Yes.
both our channels, because there's a video on Phoebe's
Yes.
channel as well that I featured in. I think you're gonna love it
Yes.
there, so go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see in another video. Bis dann.
Yes.
Tschüss.
Ade.